person I'm making this for. Hopefully this can be of use to several other people as well. Pardon any of the background sounds. I will have my vape, and there is a fan in the background. I have absolutely no idea what I was doing the last time I was here.
Don't like those eyes you got. There's a bad hunger to them.
Yeah, everybody says that. Unfortunately.
Absolutely no time to deal with lowlifes these days. Go away.
Okay, so whenever... That's not what I'm looking for. Alright, so whenever you want to check your leveling in Skyrim, you hit... Okay, why can't I... There you go, you hit circle. Sorry, it's been a minute. You go up to skills, select, and you go through here. So these are how you level clear through the game in Skyrim. Now in ESO, it's a little different. You have your original 50 points that you can get, which even in Skyrim I haven't reached, even though I have done the entire Dragonborn quest line and many of the others, but I haven't even gotten to level 50 in this, and that is because you have everything in one go in this. Now, in ESO, you have your initial 50, but it is set more like you would expect to find your inventory with the layout. So you would have the different sections that you would go to, so you can set things specific to archery, your class traits, your race traits. If you're part of the Thieves Guild, you would have a specific skill line for that. If you get into Daedric Summoning, if you are a mage, the different uses you could have for that are the different options you would have for that are pretty vast. But it would be set up like this, like with your inventory, and then you could go in and pick a specific. And when you would get to level 50, then you get into the champion points area, which then would actually look much like this. You would have 9 different options, and you would have your areas in the blue, the red, and the green. And just like in Skyrim, most of your green is, it's more stamina based. Well, I guess it's similar. With the red, you have your two-handed, your heavy armor, and things like that. So it would be very similar in comparison. And then you have your middle ground areas where it's not as specific. And then in your blue, obviously, you would have your magic. And it should actually show light armor through here as well, since mages typically use light armor. Now, for my main character in ESO, I actually used a heavy armor build just because I wanted to mix things up, and I also am not the best at actually creating my builds. Now, I'm also waiting on ESO to finish downloading the update, which it's only at 23%, but when I last checked it right before I started the broadcast, it was only at 8%, so I would say it's made some pretty good progress.
If you have business with the college, you're welcome to stay here.
So,
it's where most of our business comes from.
I don't care. Gosh, you have no idea how much I don't care. Okay. So, that's... Now, gosh, I will force you both across the fucking room if you don't stop. I don't know how I end up with both of you all the damn time.
How may I serve you, my listener?
I'm backing the fuck up. I don't remember how. I'm trying to remember the different controls in this compared to ESO. It was also a pain in the ass. But that's the basis of comparison. Now also you have your magic points through here. So as I said with ESO, what the fuck? I don't care. Okay, so as I said, with how everything is set up in a more of a list setting. So in Skyrim, you have all of your minor buffs and everything, your spells, your racial powers. They're all in a separate group. In ESO, this is also in the same listing with where you would put your skill points. So your active effects and such would be under characters. So you would open your main options tab, so you'd hit options and go through your main tab, and you would scroll down to character, and it would show your active effects. In my last broadcast for ESO, I did one on the housing for the guild halls, and when I got to the first house, I actually dismissed my clan fear and Twilight matriarch. Those are considered active effects, and once you dismiss them, obviously they go away. You can resummon them, so this would be under character. Powers, pretty sure that would be considered under spells, because these are more the more active buffs. Some of these would be in the abilities area. If you have Sanguine's Curse in ESO, then you would have an actual skill line for the vampire, and if you had Lycanthropy, you would have that instead. Obviously you can't have both at the same time, that just doesn't work. You can still get it cured, as you could in Skyrim. Things like this, where you have specifics based on different quests, these would also be in your main skill line. This would be a more racial, or, well, because this is vampire, this would actually be a passive effect or an active effect, considering what it would do under your vampire skill line. Black market, pretty sure that would actually go under Thieves Guild. I'm not entirely sure. And Ancestor's Wrath, that would be under spells. So you have things like that. Your shouts would be a more specific type of spell line, so that would be within your spells. Your conjuration, your restoration. So restoration has its own skill line in ESO. Conjuration varies between storm magic, Daedric summoning, things like that. Then you have, your destruction, which also there's a skill line for this in ESO. Your illusion, I believe those would be more passives. Alteration, I don't know, and apparently I need to fix my sensitivity for the sound, so I'm trying to be quiet, but I can fix this real quick. Okay, that should be better. So hopefully that's easier to hear. Okay. Okay, so we'll hope that fixed things. Okay, and then, you can select favorites on this. In ESO, it would be more under what you have equipped. So, Okay, good, and that did fix things. Now, unlike in Skyrim, you know, if you wanted to access your map instead of hitting circle, you would hit the large pad area on your controller. I've heard some people call it the D-pad, I've heard some people call it the flat pad, I have heard some people just call it the big giant rectangle. Whatever you know it by, it's that giant pad right above your toggles, so do with that what you will. So, I don't really know what else to show you on the Skyrim bit. At this point, I'm kind of killing time. So lockpicking, we'll do it this way. Lockpicking would be under the Thieves Guild skill point set. Wow, I don't know why that was hard. So would pickpocketing, so would speech. Alchemy would, I think alchemy is a crafting skill line. Illusion would be in magic. Conjuration would be in magic. Destruction has its own skill line, so does restoration. Alteration, I don't remember. Enchanting has its own skill line. Smithing is crafting. Heavy armor has its own skill line. Block would be under shields, so it's not called block in ESO, it's actually called shields. Two-handed, one-handed, and you know, archery would be listed under bows. They've made it a lot more simple because some people surprisingly can't tell what archery is by listening to the name and seeing the items used. I fear for future generations. Light armor obviously has its own, and then, you know, we're back to sneak and the others. So let me check what the progress is on the download so that hopefully I can stop killing time. And we're up to 39%. Eep. Okay, well, it's making progress. So, and then, yeah, so that's pretty much part one. I can't show you as much until I can open ESO. So I am going to close this broadcast. Give me maybe 10 minutes and I can open ESO, and then I can show you part two and make the rest of this make a bit more sense. So see you then.